As you may have guessed, I am not in a very conventional place for a review, but today I will be reviewing two headlamps for you. If you're curious about this room, it's the storage room. We've got food storage and other storage back there. It works. All right, so I'm going to bring you the review of the Nitecore UT27 and the HC60v2. I just realized that's upside down. First thing first, Nitecore did send me both of these headlamps for the purpose of review, but I am not getting paid or influenced to say anything. All thoughts, opinions, and experiences are truly my own. All right, now getting into this review, let's compare a little bit the technical specs of these two units. I'm going to hand it over to VoiceOver Chad for that. VoiceOver Chad, over to you. Thanks, Review Chad. Both of these headlamps are high value packed units. The UT27 coming in at about $60 US MSRP and the HC60v2 coming in at about $65 US MSRP. The UT27 features a dual LED configuration, a spotlight with a 3000K temperature LED bulb and a floodlight with a 5700K temperature bulb. It also includes a 1300 milliamp hour lithium ion rechargeable and replaceable battery, which is included, and you can use 3 AAA batteries instead. It's rechargeable via USB-C, has an IP66 water and dust rating. It's made of a lightweight polycarbonate material and only weighs 74 grams, which includes the headband and the battery pack. The HC60v2 is a single LED bulb which has a 100-degree wide angle and is very high output. It also includes a 3400 milliamp battery, which is rechargeable and replaceable and recharges via USB-C. It has an IPX7 water and dust rating and is made of aluminum and plastic material. The HC60v2 also weighs a little bit more than the UT27 at 108 grams, which does not include the battery. Moving on to the lumens or brightness and the battery duration, the UT27 features a turbo mode, which is 520 lumens. It also has a 400 lumens setting, which is the high output spotlight LED bulb, which will last for 6 hours, a 100 lumens setting, which is the low spotlight setting, which will last 10 hours, 200 lumens using the high output floodlight, which will last 8 hours, and a low floodlight setting featuring 55 lumens and 13 hours of use. As for the HC60v2 brightness and battery life, you are looking at a very high output turbo mode of 1200 lumens, which will last about 45 minutes. You also have a high output mode of 450 lumens, which will last 2 hours and 15 minutes. A mid output mode of 250 lumens, which will last about 6 hours and 30 minutes. A low output mode of 40 lumens, which will last 26 hours. And an ultra low output mode of 1 lumen, which will last 680 hours. Phenomenal. I found that the mid and high output were plenty for trail and road running and provided plenty of light and confidence to see where I was going in the dark trails or on the roads. So those are the specs of the UT27 and the HC60v2 headlamps. Review Chad, back over to you. Thanks, VoiceOver Chad. All right, Let's talk more about these two headlamps and why you would want to choose these, maybe my experience with these, and also how they performed. So the UT27 headlamp pictured right here is a much lighter weight headlamp. This is going to be very good for just general outdoor use, some trail running, road running, camping, backpacking. It's got some really nice features that I mentioned in the specs. So between these two headlamps, if you're looking for something that is extremely weatherproof and heavy duty, the HC60v2 is definitely gonna be the headlamp to get. The aluminum body here is very durable, and it's just a much brighter headlamp. The UT27 is gonna be better for more casual use. You can use it for trail running and road running. It's just a much lighter weight, not quite as durable, but if you're looking for something cheaper and less complex, if you will, then this might be the ticker. As for the usage, looking at the UT27, we can turn it on simply by holding down one of the buttons. As mentioned earlier, you have a dual headlamp usage there. The light that's on right now is the floodlight. It's a much whiter light. And then you have more of a spotlight with the other setting. It's more of a yellowy, it's not yellow, but less of that harsh white light that we've become accustomed to with LED headlamps. Now, I actually really like this off-white LED lighting. It's going to work great if you run in the rain or the snow or where it gets a little bit more foggy. It's going to help penetrate through that without reflecting light back into your eyes. So that's a really nice setting there. And of course, to turn off, you just hold down the button. Now, another cool feature is you can activate that turbo mode, which will turn both lights on. Just by double clicking, it also will activate the red light. So you can see there, the red light is on. Really nice if you don't want to blind everybody, and or if you're in your tent and you just need to find something, or if you're reading and you don't want the light to be too bright when you're outdoors camping or out on the trails. Click again, you'll get the flashing red light. Now click twice, there's your turbo mode where both lights are activated. Post edit Chad here totally failed to mention that in the dual LED mode, that turbo mode, you're only going to be able to be in that mode for about 30 seconds before it automatically turns off. Sorry, I failed to mention that in the video. All right, back to you, Chad. Moving on to the HC60v2. We'll turn this on. It starts out at a very dim LED light there. Really nice, again, for not blinding people. It really is quite dim. I'll show you what the light's like outside here in a moment. Push it again, it gets a little brighter. Again, even brighter, and the fifth time to its brightest setting, and then back down. And you push it twice, and it starts flashing. You have 3 different flashing modes, super fast, pulsating that you're seeing now. And push it again, and you'll get just a real quick blip every second or so. And then again, back to the start. Hold it to turn off. And that's it. Now, one of the things that I really like about both of these are that the battery packs are USB-C compatible. Thank you, Nitecore. That is phenomenal. The UT27 includes the battery. The HC60v2 also includes the battery. There it is. And the USB-C port is, and there's your USB-C port. A little inconvenient to get to, but that's what makes this particular model so waterproof, weather resistant. It really closes up any possible area that the water could get into the electronics. As far as my experience using these, I felt that the HC60v2 lit my path and the road very well. You don't even have to put it on the brightest setting. The third and fourth setting is perfectly fine. It's plenty bright, sheds a good amount of light, but also projects out forward far enough that you can see plenty far in advance. The UT27 does a good job, but I found that I liked it more on the more yellow LED light. That's more the spotlight because of how it projected out. The floodlight did okay, but I just didn't feel like I could see far enough to feel comfortable. It would be fine for walking or backpacking and camping, but for running on the roads and trail running, I felt that the floodlight was just a little weak, even on its brightest setting. So even that floodlight, as I said, just didn't seem like it did a good enough job to run with, although again, fine for walking, backpacking and such. One thing that I do appreciate about this UT27 unit is that it's extremely lightweight. It doesn't bounce around on your head, which is quite nice. And you get a small silicone bead along half of the front half of the headband here, just to kind of help hold it in place. You get the same silicone bead lining there on the HC60v2. You can see it there. And I also like that this unit, because it's a little bit heavier because of this housing up front, you do get the head strap that goes up and over to kind of just help hold things in place. This headlamp, even though it's just a little bit heavier because of that aluminum housing, with this extra head strap that comes across the top of your head, it didn't bounce around, and all in all was very comfortable to use. In fact, both units are very comfortable to have on your head. There you have it. Sorry if I jumbled around a little bit there, but let me show you what the light looks like outside. So I'm going to show you the 5 different brightness settings of the headlamp. It is currently on low, which you can't really see too well in the camera. It's really dim, but it's actually perfect if you were to be camping or just need a little bit of light and you don't want to blind everybody. This is the next setting up. Light setting 3, quite a bit brighter. 4, just a tad brighter, not bad. And then max. There you have it. Now, how will I use these going forward? I am going to keep the UT27 not for running, but more as a backup headlamp, an emergency headlamp, but also for camping and backpacking. This will be the headlamp that I bring with me. The other headlamp I am actually going to be giving to a good friend and an ultra runner who doesn't have a headlamp that's at least rechargeable, so I'm going to give this to him. I already have another headlamp that I prefer to use. If I didn't have a different headlamp as my daily driver already, then I would keep this HC60v2 for myself. But the fact of the matter is I don't need it, so I'm going to pay it forward and give it to somebody who could use it. Let me know if you have any questions or comments about these units. Would I recommend them? I would recommend you check them out. If you're looking for a good bright light, the HC60v2 is definitely going to be the one that you're going to want to check out. If you're looking for just a good all-purpose outdoor headlamp, the UT27 is going to be a great unit to check out, especially for the price. Okay, and I guess that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me on this review, this non-conventional review in my storage room. You know how we leave off these videos. Be consistent, express gratitude, and enjoy every mile. Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Alrighty, talk to you guys all later. Bye.